I still hear the sound of breaking glass when everything is quiet. Not in my ears. In my chest. It's the sound of a decision being made too fast. The kind of decision that changes more than one life. The kind you never really escape. It was raining the night it happened. Heavy rain, the kind that blurs streetlights and turns every reflection into a distortion. I was driving home after a late shift, exhausted, my mind already halfway in sleep. Then the road curved. And the world tilted. Metal screamed. Glass exploded. My body stopped, but my thoughts kept moving. When I opened my eyes, everything was upside down. The smell of fuel filled the air. My seat belt cut into my shoulder. The windshield was shattered, rain pouring through the cracks like the sky was trying to erase what had happened. I heard voices. Not clear. Not calm. Panicked. 2 cars had collided. Mine. And theirs. I unbuckled myself and crawled out through the broken window, my hands slipping on wet metal. My legs felt wrong, but they moved. That's when I saw them. 2 people. In the other car. A woman in the driver's seat, unconscious, blood on her forehead. A man in the passenger seat, awake, gasping, trapped by the crushed door. He looked at me. "Please," he whispered. "Help her." I didn't think. I didn't calculate. I reacted. The rain made everything slippery. The door on his side was crushed inward, metal folded like paper. The driver's side door, hers, was damaged but not sealed. She wasn't moving. I tried to open her door. It groaned, but it moved. The man was still talking. "Please," he said again. "She has a heart condition." My hands were shaking. My thoughts were loud. I had seconds. Fire hadn't started yet, but the smell of fuel was strong. One choice. 2 lives. I pulled the woman out. Her body was heavy, unresponsive, but her door was open. I dragged her onto the wet asphalt, rain soaking into her clothes. Behind me, the man screamed. "Don't leave me." I turned. The door wouldn't move. The metal had wrapped around his legs. "I'll come back," I said. But the words sounded thin. I ran to the woman, checking for a pulse. She had one. Weak. But there. Sirens were still far away. I ran back to the man. The door still wouldn't move. The car made a sound I'll never forget. A deep, unstable creak. The kind of sound that means time is gone. I looked at him. His eyes were wide. Not angry. Terrified. "I'm sorry," I said. And I meant it. Then the fire started. Not a dramatic explosion. Just a sudden glow. Heat. Smoke. I grabbed the woman and ran. I didn't look back. By the time emergency services arrived, the man was gone. The woman survived. That's what people say when they think the story ends. She survived. But survival is complicated. The woman woke up in the hospital 2 days later. Her heart condition had worsened from the trauma. She needed surgery. Long recovery. A new life built around medication and caution. She kept asking about her husband. I wasn't there when they told her. But I heard her scream through the hallway. They said he didn't make it. They said it gently. Like gentleness can soften the truth. I went home that night and sat in the dark. Not crying. Not shaking. Just listening to the rain hit the window like it was trying to remind me of something. I told myself I had done the right thing. I had saved a life. But my mind kept asking a quieter question. Why that life? Weeks passed. The news moved on. The street was cleaned. The cars were gone. But the moment stayed. It lived in my chest, heavy and unresolved. I tried to sleep. I tried to work. I tried to exist like before. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face. Not accusing. Not angry. Just, waiting. One afternoon, I received a letter. No return address. Inside was a simple message. She wants to meet you. I knew who she was. The woman. The one I saved. My hands shook as I folded the paper. I didn't want to meet her. Because meeting her meant facing what I had done. Not legally. Morally. We met in a quiet cafe near the hospital. She looked smaller than I remembered. Not weak. Fragile. I wanted to thank you, she said softly. You saved my life. The words landed like weight. I don't remember much, she continued. Just your face. Pulling me out. I nodded. She smiled. My husband would have thanked you too. That's when something broke inside me. Because he never got the chance. We talked for a while. About recovery. About pain. About learning to live differently. She told me about her husband. How patient he was. How he always insisted on driving her everywhere. How he promised to protect her. He kept me alive, she said. And you kept me alive too. 2 people. 1 life. But only one survived. After that meeting, the nights got worse. Not with nightmares. With silence. The kind of silence that forces your thoughts to speak. I started replaying the moment over and over. What if I had tried harder? What if I had called for help sooner? What if I had chosen differently? There was no clear answer. Just the weight of the choice. One night, I stood in the bathroom staring at my reflection. I didn't see a hero. I saw a person who decided who lived. And who didn't. Months later, I received another message. She was getting married again. She wanted me there. I didn't go. Not because I was angry. Because I didn't feel like I belonged in her new beginning. My presence was tied to her worst day. And I didn't want to be a shadow at her happiness. Time moved forward. It always does. But the question stayed. Was I right? People told me yes. You saved who you could. You're not responsible. You did your best. But my mind didn't speak in sentences. It spoke in images. Fire. Rain. His eyes. One night, while driving home, I passed the exact curve where it happened. The road looked normal. Safe. Ordinary. And that felt wrong. Because something extraordinary had ended there. I parked on the side of the road and got out. The rain wasn't falling this time. The silence was loud. I stood there and whispered something I had never said out loud before. I'm sorry. Not to the road. Not to the past. To the man whose life I couldn't save. I realized something that night. Saving someone doesn't erase who you lose. It just changes the shape of the guilt. I didn't stop living after the accident. But I started living more carefully. Not in actions. In emotions. I stopped pretending that choices don't have consequences. Some decisions don't end. They just stay. Quietly. Inside you.